My parents covered up that my sister slept with my husband. I was shattered to the core. So at her baby shower, I will present a gift that makes them remember and be remembered forever. Perhaps starting with an introduction and a brief explanation about my family is the best way. I am Ray, and I've just received the most shocking revelation. But before getting into it, let me tell you a little about my family. You see, I always knew I wasn't the favorite. Nobody ever told me directly, but you can feel it in your bones. It's the way your parents look at you compared to your sibling, how they talk to you, how they always choose them in both the small and big moments. My sister Lisa was always the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, the one who got all the love and attention, while I watched from the shadows. Growing up, it was obvious. If Lisa got a good grade, it would be framed on the wall. If I got a good grade, I'd get a brief smile before they continued talking about Lisa's achievements. I was her shadow. But despite everything, I never hated her. Sure, I resented the way my parents put her on a pedestal, but she was my sister, and I loved her. At that time, it wasn't her fault that our parents treated us differently. I thought that would be enough. That although things weren't fair in childhood, as adults, we'd find our place, and our relationship would balance out. But I was wrong. So terribly wrong. 2 days ago, everything fell apart. It was supposed to be a happy evening. My parents had invited us over for dinner to celebrate Lisa's pregnancy. I was genuinely happy for her. She and her husband Ken had been trying for a while, and I knew how much it meant to her to start, a family together. So, I went, despite the knot in my stomach that I always feel when I'm around my family. It's a constant reminder that I'm not enough, that I'm always second best compared to Lisa. Ben, my husband, was by my side, as he had been for the past 5 years. He knew how complicated my relationship with my family was and had always been my support, the one person who made me feel seen. Or so I thought. The dinner was fine, normal even. We were all sitting around the table, laughing and celebrating Lisa's news. My parents, as expected, were beaming with pride, gushing about Lisa's pregnancy as if she had invented motherhood. But that didn't surprise me anymore. I smiled and congratulated her, pretending everything was fine. It was later, when I overheard my parents talking, that my entire world fell apart. After dinner, I excused myself to use the bathroom. On my way back, I passed by the kitchen and overheard my parents whispering. I should have kept walking, but something in their hushed tones made me stop. And that's when I heard it. My mom was saying they would never tell me anything about Lisa's mistake. At first, I was confused, wondering what mistake they were talking about. But then the answer hit me like a slap in the face. They were talking about how Lisa had slept with Ben, my husband. Apparently, it happened a few months ago, and they decided not to tell me to protect Lisa because she was their precious girl and didn't deserve to have her image tarnished. They called it a simple mistake, a lapse in judgment, something that should be forgiven because, according to them, the important thing was that she managed to get pregnant. I stood there, frozen, unable to move, unable to breathe. The walls seemed to close in around me. My mind was flooded with disbelief, betrayal, and rage. My husband, my partner, the man I trusted with my life, was a traitor, and with none other than my own sister. And worse, my parents knew. They had kept it a secret, choosing to protect Lisa instead of telling me the truth. They chose her again over me. It felt like all those years of feeling less were somehow validated. They made their decision, and it wasn't me. I don't even remember how I left that house that night. I vaguely recall muttering something about not feeling well and needing to leave. I couldn't face them, not my parents, not Lisa, and especially not Ben. So, I just left, got in my car, and drove. But I don't remember where I went. I just needed to be away from them, away from the reality of what I had just learned. It felt like my whole life was a cruel joke, like nothing made sense anymore, like I was falling into a void with no way to stop. It's been 2 days, and I still can't process it. I haven't confronted anyone. I've barely spoken to Ben since that night. He keeps asking me what's wrong, why I'm so distant, but I can't even look him in the eye, let alone talk to him. Every time I see him, all I can think about is him with her, my sister. How could he do this to me? How could she? And how could my parents hide it as if it didn't matter, as if I didn't matter? I keep replaying that conversation in my head, hearing my parents say Lisa's mistake shouldn't ruin her life, that it was just a slip. But what about my life, my marriage? Does that not count? Do I not count? It feels like I've been erased, like I'm a secondary character in a story that should be mine. But somehow it's always about Lisa. No matter what she does, no matter how much she hurts me, they will always protect her. And here I am, picking up the pieces, trying to figure out how to move forward when everything I thought I knew has been turned upside down. I don't really know what to do. I don't know if I should confront Ben and demand the truth or if I should talk to my parents and tell them how much they've hurt me. I don't know who to face first. I don't even know if I have the strength to face Lisa. The thought of talking to her and hearing whatever excuse she might have for betraying me makes my stomach turn. But I can't keep living like this, pretending everything is okay when it's not. I can't keep this secret inside, letting it poison every thought, every moment. Part of me wants to scream at them all, to tell them how much they've hurt me and how much they've destroyed. But another part just wants to leave, to walk away and never look back. I don't know which part to listen to. I don't even know if there's a right choice here. All I know is that I feel completely broken, and I don't know how to put the pieces back together. I've spent my whole life feeling like I'm not enough, like I don't matter. And now, after all this, it seems like that's been confirmed. My parents have made it clear that Lisa will always be the priority, no matter what she does or who she hurts. But where does that leave me? How do I move forward, knowing that the people who should love and protect me have chosen someone else, time and time again? I have no answers. I wish I did. I wish I knew what to do. How to fix this, or at least how to move on. But right now, all I feel is overwhelming betrayal and pain, and I don't even know how to make it stop. That's why I'm here, really, writing this post, hoping that someone, anyone will tell me what to do because I feel like I'm falling apart, and I don't know how to stop it. I know that from the outside, it's easy to have an opinion, and that's what I'm looking for. But from the inside, it feels overwhelming. Update 1. It's been more than 2 weeks since my original post. I've had time to think, to feel, and to plan. At first, I was paralyzed by the pain, confusion, and betrayal, but now that numbness has faded and has been replaced by something cold, sharp, and much more dangerous. At first, I thought confronting Ben, Lisa, and my parents might give me some closure, but now I've decided on something completely different. Yes, I will confront them, but not to yell, cry, or ask for explanations. Instead, I want them to feel the same pain I've been drowning in. I want revenge. I'm going to exact the most thorough revenge possible within the bounds of the law. These past few days, I've been meticulous, I've been patient. They think I know nothing, that I'm that second-rate daughter and wife who just smiles and goes along with everything. Let them keep thinking that, because in the meantime, I've been working in silence, gathering evidence to back up everything I heard that night. Betrayal always leaves traces, even when the betrayers think they've covered their tracks, and I'm determined to find every last detail they thought was hidden. First, let me tell you about the baby shower. Yes, there's a baby shower. A few days after my last post, my mother called me with her usual cheerful tone, pretending as if nothing had happened, as if she hadn't been part of this massive betrayal. She wanted to know if I'd organize Lisa's baby shower since, for my family, I'm basically a servant, and of course, I'd be the one to take care of it. Probably, if the situation were reversed, she wouldn't ask my sister to organize this. Yes, she wanted me to celebrate the very person who destroyed my marriage and my life. The audacity left me speechless for a moment, but then it occurred to me to use this to my advantage. This could be the perfect opportunity to set the stage for what's coming. Of course, I agreed. I said yes, making sure my voice didn't reveal my true intentions in the slightest. She was so pleased, almost euphoric. "Lisa will be so happy," she said. I smiled over the phone, thinking about how happy Lisa would be when she found out what I had planned for her. But before making my move, I needed to gather as much as possible. I've become almost obsessive about uncovering every last secret, every message and every piece of evidence showing exactly what they did to me. At night, while Ben sleeps, I go through his phone, his laptop, even his old backups. At first, I wasn't sure if I'd find anything. Maybe they'd been smart enough to cover their tracks. But people always get careless when they think they have the upper hand. The first evidence came in the form of a hidden folder on his phone. He thought he was clever, naming it something innocent, but I know him too well. Inside were photos, pictures of him with Lisa. And it turns out, it wasn't just once, but an elaborate affair. Some photos seemed innocent at first glance, but others, well, let's just say they made it clear what had happened between them. My stomach churned as I looked at them, but I didn't stop. In the following nights, I kept digging. Text messages, emails, old social media messages. I found conversations between Lisa and Ben, some from months ago, talking about how careful they'd been to make sure I didn't find out. Their words hurt, but they also fueled me. They were so casual about it, as if I were nothing more than an obstacle in their way. But the real bombshell came when I found messages between my parents and Lisa. My mother, in particular, had been actively helping to keep it all a secret. There were conversations about how Ray didn't need to know, and about the importance of protecting Lisa's image. Lisa sent screenshots of these messages to Ben, assuring him that our parents were on their side and that they didn't have to worry about me finding out. I felt sick reading it. They didn't care that I'm their own daughter, all they care about is Lisa's reputation. I've saved everything, every photo, every message, every piece of evidence is now carefully stored on my device. I've backed it all up, just in case. I'm not going to rush. I'm going to wait for the perfect moment to act, maybe at the baby shower, maybe afterward, but I'll make sure that when it all falls apart, it falls apart hard. They won't know what hit them. Update 2. It's been about a week since my last update, and there's so much I need to share, although I'm not sure where to start. The events of yesterday feel like they played out in a dream, or maybe a nightmare, it depends on who you ask. I spent the day at Lisa's baby shower playing the part of the perfect hostess while hiding the storm brewing inside me. The facade was carefully crafted. I was the supportive sister, the cheerful daughter, the obedient wife. Everyone was there, family, friends, and Lisa's husband, none of whom knew about the storm about to be unleashed. The celebration itself was an elaborate event, and my mother, unsurprisingly, was practically bursting with pride, ensuring everything was perfect for little Lisa. My parents had no idea the real gift was coming, and it was from me. A gift that would shatter the carefully constructed world they had built. I was acutely aware of my racing heart. I could feel my pulse, not from excitement, but from the anticipation of the chaos about to unfold. As the day went on, I engaged in light conversations, laughed at shallow jokes, and arranged the many baby gifts stacked on the table. The whole time, I was intensely aware of the ticking time bomb about to explode. I could see Lisa enjoying the attention. Her smile wouldn't last long, but the longer she thought she'd gotten away with it, the better for my revenge. The moment came when they cut the cake. Everyone clapped and congratulated her, and I felt my pulse race even more as I prepared to give Lisa her special gift. I told everyone it came from the heart, but deep down, I knew it came from the depths of my pain. Then I stood up to address everyone, and the noise in the room fell silent. Lisa looked at me with a bright smile, visibly excited as she reached for the beautifully wrapped box. I had put effort into the presentation, exquisite paper, a luxurious bow, all designed to create a sense of anticipation and make it seem like a very important gift, which it was. Everyone gathered around Lisa to get a closer look as she began to unwrap it. Inside were printed photos, shocking images of her and Ben in very compromising situations. Intimate moments frozen in time, the kind of photos you wouldn't want your family to see. I had carefully chosen the most incriminating images, the ones that revealed their betrayal with undeniable clarity. Lisa's expression changed from excitement to confusion and then to horror as she processed the contents of the box. The atmosphere in the room shifted when people realized what was happening and the implications of the photos for everyone involved, Lisa, me, and my husband. But I wasn't done. As the murmurs began and people started asking questions to either Lisa or me, I unveiled decorative curtains that displayed the same photos, enlarged and arranged in a striking format. The truth was now exposed for everyone to see, a gallery of betrayal, capturing the affair that had shattered my life. Lisa's face turned pale, the blood draining from her cheeks, leaving her looking ghostly. Her hands trembled as she struggled to grasp what was happening. My parents instinctively tried to intervene, but I wasn't going to let them silence me. I took a deep breath and let the words flow. I revealed the entire affair, detailing how they had helped cover it up and how they pretended everything was fine while Lisa betrayed me with my husband. Lisa's husband, completely shocked, stormed out of the room, yelling at her, calling her a traitor, and expressing disbelief at how she could have done all this. It was likely a similar expression and feeling to what I experienced when I discovered the entire ordeal. My parents were left speechless, unable to defend their golden child this time. The world they had so carefully built around Lisa was crumbling, piece by piece, as I unveiled the chaos she had orchestrated. Standing there in the middle of the crowd, I felt something strange, a sense of release washing over me. Some people approached me to offer comfort, but I didn't need any of that at the moment because I had done what needed to be done. So, I took my things and left. Update 3. 2 weeks have passed since my last update, and I think the dust has settled enough to share the aftermath of my surprise at the baby shower and the fallout for everyone involved in the betrayal. The night I revealed everything, I left the party as soon as I finished showing the evidence. I didn't want to talk to anyone or face the reactions of those who had been my family until then. I didn't know what had happened afterward until Lisa's friend, well, now ex-friend, contacted me a few days later to ask me some questions. She, one of Lisa's closest confidants, started the conversation in a tone ranging from disbelief to disgust. She told me that after what I had exposed, she had opened her eyes to Lisa's true personality. In her words, if Lisa could cheat on her own sister with her husband, what guarantee did anyone have that she wouldn't do the same to her? The betrayal she witnessed at the party had left her with a profound sense of doubt, and she felt unable to continue her friendship with someone like that. During our conversation, she asked for advice on how to investigate her husband to ensure he wasn't hiding something similar. I told her to thoroughly check his social media, text messages, and any conversations on his phone that might seem suspicious. I also made it clear that if she discovered anything important, I'd be waiting for her to share it, as I know many of you would also want to know. But that wasn't all she told me. Apparently, after I left the party, the venue turned into a full-on battleground. Lisa's husband's family was there, and once they understood the situation, a wave of shouting and accusations filled the air. Lisa's husband's parents were as furious as they were disappointed, hurling harsh words and insults at her for what she had done. My father, with whatever dignity he had left, tried to intervene to defend his daughter, claiming that Lisa was pregnant and they shouldn't speak to her that way. But Lisa's father-in-law wasn't holding back, retorting that their dear daughter was nothing but a harlot of Babylon. Let's just say he used a much cruder term. That comment hit my father like a dagger, and he charged at Lisa's father-in-law, intending to settle things physically. It didn't go well for him. Lisa's father-in-law landed a single punch that sent him to the ground. He didn't lose consciousness but stayed on the floor, either from humiliation or fear of receiving another blow. And it wasn't just the men willing to fight. Lisa's mother-in-law, enraged by everything that had happened, began insulting my mother, who didn't hold back either, calling Lisa's father-in-law a gorilla for hitting her husband. This provoked the other woman to lunge at her. The scene was brutal. I heard Lisa's mother-in-law pulled my mother's hair so hard she had to be separated by others. My mother ended up losing a chunk of hair, and someone even joked that she might want to start considering a wig. Some guests tried to stop the fight, managing to calm things down before it escalated further. I admit that, deep down, I feel a twinge of regret for not staying at the party to witness the fallout of my gift. It's akin to the feeling you get when you miss school on the most eventful day of the year. But despite the curiosity, I know it was for the best. I left to maintain my own peace of mind and avoid getting caught in the shame and chaos. Surprisingly, Lisa came out of the situation physically unharmed, not because she didn't deserve it, but because she's pregnant, and everyone present, even the most furious, had enough self-control not to harm her physically. Although there's a high chance the baby she's expecting is my husband's, it's not the child's fault that their mother was such a deceitful and treacherous person. Update 4. As for my ex-husband, or rather, soon-to-be ex-husband, things have progressed quite a bit. I delivered the divorce papers to him as soon as I could get them processed. He didn't get punched during the party because I think he had enough sense to stay silent and try to make himself invisible among the crowd. He remained quiet, head down, as if trying to go unnoticed. Apparently, this strategy worked, as he avoided the punch from Lisa's father-in-law, a punch he deserved more than anyone else, especially since her father-in-law was so willing to throw one. Later, when he got home, he found all his belongings thrown out on the lawn. I hadn't left a single thing of his inside. Everything was on the grass, waiting for him to get the message. He didn't say a word or knock on the door to talk to me. He simply collected his things and left. At least he understood the hint. Now we're waiting to see what happens with the house once the divorce is finalized. In the past 2 weeks, neither my sister nor my family has tried to contact me, neither to apologize nor to lash out at me, which doesn't surprise me. Even though I was the one most affected by all this, apart from my father's humiliation in this situation, they don't have enough shame or remorse to reach out and apologize. This confirms what I've always suspected. To them, Lisa will always be the priority, no matter what. This betrayal and public humiliation, while catastrophic, doesn't seem to be enough to make them reflect. I've spent my whole life trying to find a place in my family, seeking to be seen and valued. But these events have shown me that it will never happen. No matter how much they hurt me or betray my trust, I'll always be the daughter they can overlook. Update 4. I love that saying. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's exactly what happened to my ex-husband, but let me not jump ahead and share how things have been over the last few months. It turns out that Lisa's now ex-friend, whom I helped with her investigation, discovered that her husband was also cheating on her with my sister. As you can imagine, she confronted him immediately. During the argument, the friend mentioned that my ex was also involved in this whole mess. What did her husband do? Without saying a word, he went straight to my sister's house, where she was living with my ex, because they believed the baby she was expecting was his. What happened next was the best part. The man punched my ex directly in the face. So, even though he managed to avoid a punch at the party, he finally got what he deserved. Obviously, my ex has decided to sue him over the punch, though I'm not sure what has happened with that legal matter, and honestly, I'm not too interested. As for my sister's husband, he moved out as soon as he found out about the whole situation and immediately filed for divorce. That divorce hasn't been finalized yet, probably because a baby is involved, and those processes tend to take longer. My own divorce, on the other hand, was completed about a month ago. For those wondering about assets, the house we shared was sold, and we split the money evenly. Neither of us has to pay spousal support, and since there were no kids, the process was simpler. I think the fact that my divorce was resolved quickly only made the chaos surrounding my sister seem even more eternal and messy. Going back to my ex-husband, after receiving that punch to the face, he also got an emotional blow upon learning that he might not be the father of my sister's baby. In an ironic twist of fate, he decided to move out of my sister's house as well, unable to bear the idea that she might have cheated on him. This part makes me laugh, though it also makes me wonder about the logic behind infidelity in people like them. How can someone so willing to cheat on their partner with another person now feel hurt because that person cheated on them? Maybe I don't understand jealousy in that situation because, fortunately, I'm a decent person and have never felt the urge to betray someone in such a way. The hypocrisy in him is so evident it's almost hilarious. But the situation doesn't stop there because now comes the unexpected twist. My sister's baby has been born, and as you'd imagine, a DNA test was done immediately. It turns out my ex is not the father. The baby is the child of Lisa's ex-friend's husband, who also filed for divorce after discovering the affair. What surprises me is that, despite this man being the father, there could very well have been another candidate. Knowing my sister and seeing how she's handled herself during all of this, it wouldn't surprise me if there were more contenders in the paternity matter. Honestly, given who my parents and sister are, this doesn't seem strange at all for them. This is just another Tuesday. The level of chaos and drama they live with is so routine that they barely seem to care about how absurd the situation is. And no, neither my parents nor my sister have attempted to contact me since. But this time, and just this once, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and think that maybe it's not that they don't care about me as a daughter or sister. They're probably just too busy dealing with the disaster they've created themselves. Update 5. First, let me clarify something because it seems some people didn't catch the sarcasm in my last update. When I said I gave my family the benefit of the doubt, I was being sarcastic. No, I don't think they've ever truly cared, and even if there hadn't been a scandal of this magnitude, they still wouldn't have bothered to reach out. Moving on to the update, my sister has ended up moving back into our parents' house. Why? Well, the biological father of her baby decided not to stay with her, and while he's been unfaithful, I understand the decision. Staying with someone as untrustworthy as my sister sounds more like a punishment than a reward. So, alone and with a baby, she returned to the only place where she seems to still be welcomed with open arms, our parents' house. As for my sister's divorce, it concluded in a favorable manner for my ex-brother-in-law. The house they shared was sold, and he doesn't have to pay either child support or spousal support. I think this was the best-case scenario for him. Now, he can walk away from this whole mess without any financial or personal ties to my sister. It's like life gave him a one-way ticket out, and I can't imagine a better ending for him. Lisa's ex-friend has also finalized her divorce, and in terms of peace and counting the punches, it seems things have settled down. Although, with everything that has happened, it's clear that many people in this story are still deserving of another punch. For now, the physical dramas have ceased, but the memories will remain engraved in the minds of everyone involved, and some on their faces.